Our world is always in transition. But there are historical moments when the death of the existing order and the violent birth of a new one create extraordinary turmoil. This is one of those moments. The United States remains the world's only military superpower, but costly, ill-conceived nation-building projects in Iraq and Afghanistan and the inability to resolve more recent conflicts leave Americans cynical about the value of U.S. power and reluctant to test it anywhere else. The great financial meltdown of 2008 led some to question whether the U.S. economy still stands on a firm foundation, and in the years that followed, stock prices recovered, but the U.S. job market did not prove quite as resilient. America's allies in Europe, the Middle East, East Asia, and elsewhere now question the strength of Washington's commitment to the global responsibilities it claimed for itself in better days. Rivals and adversaries see new opportunities to test American intentions. In recent years, emerging powers like China, Russia, the Gulf Arab leaders, India, Brazil, Turkey, and others have proven that they can reject U.S. leadership where it isn't useful for them and extend their influence within their own regions. Yet governments in all these countries now face complex domestic challenges, leaving them unwilling and unable to offer a real alternative to that leadership. The U.S.-dominated post-Cold War order has come to an end. We now live in a world where no single power or alliance of powers can offer consistent global leadership. No one knows what comes next. The breakdown of the old order has stirred up a remarkable amount of trouble over the past 7 years. After the crash of once formidable U.S. banks created extreme financial turbulence and a global recession, the Eurozone spiraled into crisis. The Middle East erupted. Well-organized and financed Islamic radicals launched bold new attacks on the modern world. Fault lines began to appear among power players at the highest level of China's leadership, and, not coincidentally, Beijing began to pursue a much more aggressive foreign policy. Russia and the West again found themselves in conflict. Many of these fires will burn for years to come. Consider the high-stakes questions facing America's next president. Begin with the many risks created by changing times in China, a country whose social stability and economic vital signs have become crucial for the health of the entire global economy. As I'll detail in later chapters, China's leaders have staked their future on a long-term reform process designed to help the country finally make the leap from a poor one that sells consumer goods to America, Europe, and Japan, to a modern one driven by an expanding middle class with the cash to buy more of the products China makes. They must help develop a more innovative economy, one fueled by efficient, dynamic private sector firms rather than corrupt, inefficient, state-owned dinosaurs. China's companies must master new technologies that produce energy and growth without continued catastrophic damage to the country's air and water. Its policymakers must manage the widening gap between the urban rich and rural poor. And they must do all this to extend the ruling party's monopoly hold on political power for another generation. But Beijing's reformers are under pressure. From upwardly mobile urban Chinese tired of promises and ready for change, from factory workers who fear that these changes will cost them their jobs, and from some of the country's wealthiest, best-connected power brokers who know these changes will strip them of privileges and protections. In response to these pressures, President Xi Jinping has launched an ambitious anti-corruption campaign that has already taken down some of China's most powerful people in order to push aside opponents of reform and to earn greater trust from a cynical Chinese public. Over time, this strategy will provoke greater pushback from threatened officials who feel they have nothing to lose, raising the odds that a fight within the leadership will spill into the open, generating frightening levels of unrest across the country. All this at a time when ideas and information travel into, out of, and across China at greater speed than ever before in history. This reality increases the odds that no matter what Washington does, turmoil inside China will throw the entire global economy into reverse.